This stimulus package from Congress passed finally, but there's no state or local help in it. What's going to be the impact for the state and its economy?
It's not good. I mean, I'm glad they passed something, but let me say that clearly, and we'll take what we get here, whether it's for small business, for unemployed, for vaccines, whatever it might be. We need everything that's in it, but we needed, 2 or 3 times this, including state and local aid. Listen, I hope that by the time the Biden administration gets there, we'll see what the configuration in the Senate looks like, but we need state and local aid. And that's merely, we're on the front lines. We're the ones out there setting up the mega sites, doing the testing. Our revenues have fallen off a table. Our expenses are through the roof. We're trying to employ as many of our frontline workers as we can, keep them in their jobs, delivering the services. But it's going to impair our ability to do just that. And we've been skating by now for a number of months, and we're going to have to skate by again. I think, as I've said to you before, history will be kind to us as a nation if we overshoot. It will be devastatingly unkind, and it will be a price paid through human suffering, loss of jobs, loss of business, restaurants shutting down, et cetera, if we undershoot. And right now we're undershooting.
So that said, you supported this tax incentive program. It's 14 billion, 2 billion a year. After the state just borrowed $4 billion. You said this week it's everything, you underlined that, that you wanted. And the closer you look at it, the better it gets. So the question is, what's the rush? I mean, it took 5 days for business days for it to get heard, introduced and voted on. Why not encourage lawmakers to give it a week? I mean, I assume that your team had at least a week or two to look at some of the details. No, what's the rush?
I would, with all due respect, I'll challenge you on the premise. The principles of this bill have been out there from us for over 2 years, clear as a bell. And you can look back at the record: overall caps, program caps, brownfields redevelopment, homestead, the venture capital. We put in, as I say, caps at many levels, an inspector general. And the numbers you're referring to, by the way, I should say, are up to numbers. Those aren't necessarily numbers that'll be achieved. So this is an idea whose time has come. And because of the pandemic, we need it more than ever before. I think it's really smart, and we're going to benefit from this.
But folks at home have not really had a chance to look at this. They should just trust that it's going to be what you say it's going to be.
I think as they read this bill, David, and I mean this, and by the way, the advocates out there who stood with me every step of the way to achieve the reforms that are realized in this bill, I take my hat off to. When you read this bill gets better, and that is the important point. When you say, okay, where is this? What are the principles? What is this trying to do? Frankly, it takes us from a corporate aid act in the past to a true economic development plan for the state of New Jersey going forward. Main Street, underrepresented areas, as I mentioned, brownfields, historical preservation. It jumpstarts our innovation economy. It's great for labor. I mean, it's got all the elements that we have wanted. It's the caps are bigger than I would have guessed a year ago, but guess what? We're living through the worst economic reality comparable only to the 1930s and the 1860s. So I don't think we should be surprised by that.
And affordable in your mind?
100%. This is a plan where we get, in many cases, cash on the barrel back to the state of New Jersey if folks achieve certain objectives. So yes, 100%.
All right.